Continuing the news, over $5 billion. That's how much the government owes the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, for street lights as at December last year. The revelation was made at this morning's sitting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC. As TVJ's Andrea Chisholm reports, PAAC members were also concerned about who will fund a major street light project. We apologize for the absence of that report. We'll get back to it in a moment. And speaking of the JPS, the company carried out a major operation in St. Catherine today targeting illegal connections. More from TVJ's Dara Smith.
It's lights out for some residents of the Fraser's Content community of St. John's Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine tonight. The Jamaica Public Service Company and the police were in the area Wednesday, and this is what they found. Lights on at several homes in the community in the middle of the day, connected to several hundred meters of illegal connections littering the community. 2 persons were arrested, but the residents have an explanation. They have been waiting for years for the JPS to regularize their service after investing in wiring the houses.
We're willing to pay, we'll be hunting, you know. It's about them come and them start a program, so they see the concrete post where them plan to write up, and some people pay them money, them hose wire up until now, about 4 to 5, you know, and nobody can come to we. They say we can't see the dark weather, we are human beings. I want to survive, you know, so I want to do what I have to do to survive, you know.
Up bush and a pear bush, we live in a. We can't live in a bush and a pear thief up here, so. We can't afford for thief come terrorize you at night time or daytime. When you come up as a night time at pitch darkness, you know. Pitch darkness.
So you're just asking them to make them regularize?
Yes, man. I don't finish when them start. So the light post them put up, gone up.
And them just stop it and not come back.
Just stop it and not come back.
So now it's lights out, something residents say they are unable to contend with for much longer. They called for the JPS to speak with them. The JPS parish manager for St. Catherine, Oswald Smiley, responded.
I'm not sure of the delay, but I did some research prior to, and I am looking back at that project to see how best we can streamline. And I think that was also the project that the councillor called me about, and I made a promise to re-look at it. I'll be coming back into that community to have some community meetings and see how best we can get this project back on track and ensure that we get these customers legally connected to the grid.
Mr. Smiley is urging residents to have a conscience. He laments that aside from stealing the electricity, the residents are wasting it by having lights on in the middle of the day, and that the JPS was forced to enter the community after losing 3 of its transformers within a day.
The reason why I asked the team to go in is to look at our best, one, to minimize the effect of any further burning of our transformers, because these transformers that were burnt at a cost of approximately 1.2 million Jamaican dollars, and the transformers were burned in less than 24 hours.
Mr. Smiley says he's now in dialogue with the councillor for the area to look at other unfinished projects and how best they can be addressed going forward. Dara Smith, TVJ News.
A return to an earlier story. Over $5 billion. That's how much the government owes the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, for streetlights as of December last year. The revelation was made at this morning's sitting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAAC. As TVJ's Andrea Chisholm reports, PAAC members are also concerned about who will fund a major streetlight project.
From April to December last year, government's bill for streetlights was over $2 billion. However, only $944.5 million of the amount was paid, leaving a balance of over $1.1 billion. Add that to what the government owes JPS for streetlights over the years, and the grand total up to December 2016 is $4.8 billion. PAAC Chairman Dr. Wickham McNeil had a concern.
You're budgeting 2.6 billion. Is that what you budgeted?
That is what we would have budgeted.
Yeah, but you're not paying that.
No, because we're not getting the necessary income from the property taxes to meet those payments that we had budgeted.
Be that as it may, it still leaves the main issue on the table.
What's the plan going forward? Because you don't seem to have a plan to pay JPS.
There was no definitive response to that question, but the committee was told that discussions were ongoing. Discussions continue as well on plans to retrofit streetlights with LED bulbs to reduce costs.
That program is going to see 35,000 lamps, new lights being installed in the first year, and
It's expected to be rolled out in June this year and will last until December 2019. However, there's no indication as to who will pay for the project.
We must know upfront who is going to bear the cost. Because next thing we hear from JPS down next year or the year after, oh, we install 105,000 bulbs and we need to be a recovery because there is no free lunch.
Don't handle the negotiation right. All of this may be for naught. You may put in the entire system and they end up paying the same amount.
The PAAC was told that high-level discussions will continue with the stakeholders, including the Office of Utilities Regulation, to iron out the issue. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
The president of the Medical Association of Jamaica, Dr. Merton Smith, is raising concern this evening about two important pieces of equipment to help with cancer care. Dr. Smith also took a swipe at those who he says consistently give consecutive health ministers the wrong advice. TVJ Shamela Mitchell reports.
In 2015, the then health minister announced the government was closer to getting 2 linear accelerator machines used to help treat cancer. But 2 years later, the president of the Medical Association of Jamaica, MAJ, Dr. Merton Smith, says doctors are still waiting for the machines to come. Dr. Smith says the plan was to install one machine at Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James and the other at St. Joseph's Hospital in Kingston.
We still have patients who are waiting for 6 months for a date for assessment for radiotherapy. That's not even to start the treatment. Many times during that waiting period, the cancers will progress and some patients will die. We think that that is just too long a wait period for a cancer patient. So this is something that we need to fast track so that we can deal with cancers.
Dr. Smith says several letters have been written to the health ministry, even before his presidency, about how poorly cancer patients are being treated in Jamaica. But he thinks health administrators have the wrong priorities.
There was a poll conducted recently by the Gleaner Company, and interestingly, even though the major killers in Jamaica are your cardiovascular illnesses, the thing that most Jamaicans feared was cancer. And so there's a great deal of emotions when it comes to cancer. So we need to fast track cancer treatment in Jamaica, and also the availability of chemotherapy drugs.
The MAJ president also criticized those advising the health ministers.
We think that one of the ways that they can improve is to consult more with persons who are actually working in health, the stakeholders. There are so many different associations of professionals that work in health, and we're usually sidelined, and it is continuing up to today. And so decisions are being made that don't include the input from the doctors, the nurses.
Meanwhile, TVJ News contacted the Ministry of Health, which said one of the machines is already in the island. That machine is now at Cornwall Regional Hospital. It has been installed. However, it is being tested before it goes full into operation. The other accelerator is not in the island as yet. Shamela Mitchell, TVJ News.
A major audit program is currently underway at the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, to determine why the agency's fuel bill so far stands at $44 million. NSWMA's Executive Director, Audley Gordon, told today's sitting of the Parliament's Public Administration Appropriations Committee, PAAC, that the audit has so far led to a major resignation. Details from TVJ's Andrea Chisholm.
It was PAAC member Michael Phillips who pointed out an area of concern after looking at documents submitted by the NSWMA.
I look at this addendum that was given to us, which is up to January. Your fuel and lubricants, and if I'm to use the SPM, a budget of 32 million, but
expenditure to date, some $44 million.
The NSWMA's executive director says he too shares the same concern. An audit is expected to shed light on the discrepancy.
Because the audit is underway, we should be getting a preliminary report on the audit in a week and a half, and we will be able to move from there. But early indications are that the measures that we put in place, that there is already significant reduction 1 week over the other week. That since we began showing interest in this fuel usage, we have at least one major resignation already. Somebody just up to resign just like that.
But the resignation was not enough to satisfy the concerns of PAAC members. Hence this directive to Audley Gordon.
You will also tell us